When I think of Rob, I think of a force of nature. He's very focused, he's excited, particularly about ROM.
He stands out amongst people at the ROM.
Rob is energetic, he's passionate, and above all, enthusiastic.
My involvement at the ROM actually began very unauspiciously with a cold call. And that was a business cold call that I made to a gentleman we all know. His name's Ken Harrigan. Ken, unbeknownst to me, was the first chair of the Governors, then the foundation. Ken came to me a couple years later and said, "Rob, I would like you to come up and do some volunteer work at the ROM. You just can't say no." Ken was a mentor for me. He really made me probably the corporate executive that I became.
I think his biggest contribution is just the fact that he's passionate about it, and because of that he's able to raise money for it. He's able to focus on financial stability of ROM and also attract good people.
Rob really lives and breathes the ROM. If he's not chairing a meeting or attending a committee meeting or just visiting with staff and talking about the ROM or the ROM magazine, he might be planning a dinner for the ROM where he's hosting donors, or he's planning international travel that involves collecting ideas for the ROM. Rob is so much about the ROM that I really think people should consider changing the logo of the ROM to Rob.
You know, so much of my life, I've been here over 20 years, has really been developed via the ROM. So many things that I've done individually with my family have been developed and inspired by the ROM. I think some of the things that, you know, of course, the building of the Crystal. So, you know, here we are, you know, 10, 12 years later, and, you know, many of the people on the board of governors and the offices here and myself have that same level of excitement, which really, I guess, started with the ball we had, Treasures of a Desert Kingdom. And you could feel the buzz in the room, and it was the same buzz that night that we had in the 2007 buzz when we opened the ROM for the first time. And one of the things that I say to the board regularly and to Josh and Susan is that, you know, success has its own momentum, and we're having a lot of successes again through a lot of hard work from, you know, everyone here.
And I was very fortunate because the two of us were co-chairs of the investment committee, and so he really reduced my task because he took over most of the requirements of being chair of the investment committee.
I don't know that I've ever seen a better chairman. He's disciplined, he's pleasant, but he keeps people on the agenda. And if you drift off, Rob brings very gently back onto it, and he runs things, I would say, exceedingly well. So I think he was an outstanding chairman.
You know, I'm extremely honored and humbled by the award. I think many people know how important I think the ROM is to Toronto, to Ontario, and really to Canada. What museums do for a city and a country is they make people less fearful about the future, less fearful about immigration, less fearful about their own lives. And the ROM has is a great place for volunteers, a great place for donors, because frankly, without the volunteers and without our donors, we wouldn't be the ROM today. It just wouldn't exist.
Congratulations, Rob, on receiving the Lieutenant Governor's Distinguished Service Award. No one deserves it more than you do.